develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Reverend, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine, thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, though, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017thetruth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Looks like we've got a Wednesday, August 16, 2023. So does he want to chat? This guy that's on line one, I usually don't be taking phone calls when I start the show because I got to get this plane off the ground first with a bedrock topic that gets us going, you see. But apparently this fella, he called, Jim is his name, and Jim is hot right now. All right, we're going to see what Jim wants to talk about. Jim wants to talk about someone and something else. So let's get the details from Jim. So Jim, I hear you're a little upset this morning.
Well, I'm listening to WTMJ, and I'm from Appleton, and I attended Appleton East High School. And yes, we did have a controversy up there about inviting kids of color versus the whole ninth grade class to come in for an orientation.
When was this, Jim? Was this recently?
This was this morning on WTMJ. Your doctor came on and was talking to the guys from WTMJ, and the question...
You're talking about Dr. Ken Harris, who hosts his own show on 101. Not our doctor. Right. He is a doctor.
Okay. No. Right. And he came on, and he was talking about the racial thing because, and he's right to a point where we have very few black students versus white students in our area.
Okay.
But the comment, and I thought it was really derogatory, he said, well, the crybaby snowflakes up there. And I'm going, what?
So which group is the crybaby, Jim, so I can get some context here, which group is the crybaby snowflake?
Apparently us up in Appleton, because we threatened to file a lawsuit to get this changed. And the school board finally did change it and made an adjustment and said it's open to all ninth graders. But the point I'm getting across is that's a derogatory comment to call us crybaby snowflakes.
So what were you all complaining about in regards to these ninth grade students of color? Did some of you all not want these ninth grade students of color to attend in Appleton High School, or you did want them to attend?
No, we wanted all students to attend. It was getting to be a racial type thing where it was strictly students of color were invited and nobody else.
Oh.
It's all been settled. It's very good. All the ninth graders are allowed to come and visit the principal and see the school and what have you. Okay.
So was
My
there a group of
upsetting
people
is that-
trying to keep ninth graders of color?
No.
There was not.
No, it was brought up, and they do have a little group there that is basically colored, and they wanted to orient. I can understand what they were trying to do,
Colored
because
group.
there is a big number difference. Okay, but the way that it was worded and the way that it was set up, it was very segregated. Okay, and that's where the problem came in. It sounded like nobody other than colored students were allowed for this particular open house at this particular time.
Jim, we don't say colored when we refer to people. We can say people of
okay,
color.
right.
Okay, I just
People
want you to
of
get the
color, I'm
terminology
sorry.
right before
Yeah,
somebody else calls
yes,
you a cry
okay.
baby snowflake. All right. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to get Dr. Ken to apologize, but I guess thank you for shedding light on this and letting us know what was going on up there in Appleton, a former sundown town. If you don't know what that is, you should absolutely look it up. Did you know that Appleton was a sundown town, Jim?
No, yes, very much so. Back in the 50s, oh yeah.
How old are you, Jim? Do you remember the 50s? Do you remember kicking black people out when the sun set?
I'm 69 years old. Apple and Foxes, their players could not sleep in the city limits. I happen to have 2, and going on 3 adopted black children in my daughter's family. So you know where I'm coming from. I'm clear across the board. I don't hold a prejudice about anything. But yes, you're right. Back in the 50s, in the city of Appleton city limits, you could come and play baseball, but you could not stay overnight, which was terrible. I mean, I don't know how we ever got away with that, but we did.
Huh. Did you vote for Trump, Jim? Who'd you vote
just,
for? You a Democrat, Republican, Independent?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Oh, it does, Jim. Indulge me for a moment. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll trade you. I'll tell you who I voted for.
Okay, I'll be honest. I voted both ways all my life. Okay, I voted for Bush. I voted for Carter. I voted for Clinton. I voted for Reagan. I voted all the way across the board. I vote for the man. I don't particularly vote for the party.
Jim, I didn't hear you say you voted for Obama.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
twice.
You did. You voted for the black, the
I
colored.
did, twice.
Oh, you voted for the colored president twice.
No, I didn't vote because he was colored. I voted because I thought he was the man at the time.
All right.
Okay.
And then in 2016, you wouldn't be caught dead voting for Hillary Clinton. No way.
No, I didn't. Okay. No.
What about 2020?
That has nothing to do with her. That has nothing to do with our conversation about this program up in Appleton.
Well, it kind of does, Jim, because it gives my listeners a little bit of background and perspective on you. Right, you had a legitimate complaint, but your complaint gets more teeth when people know who you are and where you're coming from, so they can empathize with your perspective.
Well, I just told you where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Okay. I believe every person that has 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, and 2 legs, and 1 head should have all the freedom that every other person like that does.
Okay.
Skin does not make a person, okay? Skin does not make a person unless that person makes skin the problem.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we appreciate your call, Jim.
My daughter-in-law is Peruvian. My son-in-law is Filipino. I have Caucasian grandsons, and I have an adopted daughter from Ethiopia. I have 2 black adopted sons from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we have a great family.
Well, it sounds like it, but I think I just heard you making nationality, ethnicity, and skin color the issue, because you didn't just say you had a great family. You had to be specific in where they were from. So that's kind of like making skin color the issue, Jim.
No. It's what I'm saying is I have no prejudice against color.
You know that you can
That's
have
what I'm
people
saying.
of color in your family and still be incredibly prejudiced and racist. Let me give you an example. A man can be married to a wife and at the same time pay women less, the women that work for him less. A man can love his daughters but be very despicable and objectify other women. So just because we have people of color in our lives does not absolve us from racism. The only thing that does that is education. And Jim, I thank you so much. Appreciate your call. Next time I see Dr. Ken, boy, am I going to give him a mouthful. Jim? Okay, Jim. Jim just stopped talking. Huh. Not typically how I start my show, but why not? All right, so I'm going to take a break, apparently. Come back, and then we're going to start The Truth with Sherwin Hughes without Jim on the phone. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
I firmly believe that some of these fatal shootings would not be fatal shootings if we had more black paramedics and EMTs. Now, I ain't got no proof, I ain't got no evidence, but I firmly believe. But if an EMT or a paramedic, a white one from the suburbs, that's on their fifth response to a shooting victim, I think they're letting some of us die. I'm serious. I think, oh, he's flatlined, still got a pulse. Oh, yeah, there's nothing we can do for him.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
Black Talk Radio has emerged as a powerful tool for changing the narrative and stereotypes of the black community. Traditional media outlets have often neglected to represent the full spectrum of the black experience, leading to pervasive stereotypes and misconceptions. However, with Black Talk Radio, the black community now has a platform to tell their own stories and provide insight into their own experiences. Through talk shows, news broadcasts, and podcasts, Black Talk Radio is providing a voice for a diverse range of black perspectives. By covering a variety of topics, including social justice, politics, entertainment, and so on, Black Talk Radio is offering a nuanced understanding of black community. It's breaking down stereotypes and promoting a more accurate portrayal of black culture and identity. Moreover, Black Talk Radio is providing an opportunity for black communities to connect with one another and build solidarity. In conclusion, Black Talk Radio is an invaluable platform for promoting a more accurate portrayal of the black experience, challenging pervasive stereotypes, and creating a space for communities to grow and mobilize. Through shows like Tory Lowe and the collective efforts of Black Talk Radio hosts and guests, we can continue to empower change in the black community. The ultimate goal is to shed light on issues affecting our community and inspire listeners to take action.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Mike from Mill Road texted in and said, "Good call, Jim." So what part of that call was good, Mike from Mill Road? What I did find fascinating was Jim knew that Appleton was a sundown town, not because he read it somewhere, but because he remembers. I wish that they taught that in schools. And I got a story here about the state of Arkansas that is allowing an advanced placement Black history course for Arkansas high schoolers. This is great. So now, if you're a freshman at an Arkansas public high school, you will have an advanced placement, actually, African American history class or Black studies class, etc. But here's the kicker, and this is what racism looks, smells, and tastes like. It won't count towards your graduation. They're offering it. You can take it, but it won't count towards your graduation. But you know what does count towards your graduation and what is requisite and required to graduate from an Arkansas public high school? White history. That is racism. We have to learn about them in order to finish their school. They don't have to learn anything about us. And even if they do take the Black African American Studies history class, it will not give them any credit toward their graduation. How disrespectful. So Jim, a random caller who was mad that Dr. Ken was on WTMJ this morning. What Dr. Ken was talking about on TMJ, don't know. I don't really care either. I mean, I love Dr. Ken, but whatever. Well, Jim knew that Appleton was a sundown town, and here's what I bet 2 generations of Appleton residents don't know. Because they've got a college up there, St. Lawrence University. They may have another one, but that's their big. It's a private 4-year university in Appleton. Very, very expensive. Very expensive. St. Lawrence. Or is it Lawrence? Not St. Lawrence. Lawrence University. Really expensive private college. Okay? If Lawrence was playing an out-of-state team in their, athletics, whatever the sports they have there at Lawrence. I don't know if they have a football team. They got basketball, tennis, whatever else they have. If there were visiting Black students from another school that was playing Lawrence, those Black students could not stay overnight in Appleton, Wisconsin. They'd have to stay somewhere else. They'd have to go to another town. Now, there were a couple of families in the Appleton area. There's a website I went over a couple of weeks ago. I cannot think of what it is for the life of me. I just kind of found it randomly. But what it does is it lists all 1,850 cities and towns in the state of Wisconsin, and you can click on the link of each city. So each city in the state of Wisconsin, each city, each town is hyperlinked, and you can click on it. And when you click on the name of the city, it displays whether that city was a sundown town or not. It's like this historical project that's going on right now, and it's not entirely complete, but there's a group of researchers that are compiling information and data and personal anecdotes about sundown towns in the state of Wisconsin, because when we think about that kind of overt and explicit racism, we don't think about the North. We usually think about the South. While the South had Jim Crow, the South had sundown towns too, but we never think about it. And this is a part of the history of the state of Wisconsin. If African American collegiate athletes, because those are the only athletes that will do like interstate play. So if a Black athlete from another college was in Appleton playing an Lawrence University in a sports contest and they had to stay overnight, the Black students could not stay in Appleton, could not stay at a hotel. But there were some people that said that's not fair. The Black athletes can stay with us. And their stories are also on this website. If you guys can find it, send me that link. I don't have time to Google it right now because I got other stuff I want to talk about today. But it's a website where a bunch of researchers are compiling information on sundown towns in Wisconsin. And so as I was reading, and I read some of it on the air last week or the week before, some of these anecdotal stories about Appleton specifically being a sundown town. And there were families that would essentially harbor, because if you're Black in Appleton in the I think they got rid of the sundown towns in the 60s, you were a fugitive, right? It was literally illegal. It's against municipal ordinance for a Black person to stay in the town of Appleton after the sun went down. It was against the law. You were a fugitive from justice. And so there were these families that, no, we don't think that's fair. They can stay with us. And as I'm reading these stories, I'm thinking like these black kids that were being essentially hidden in the homes of these white folks that didn't think it was fair for the black kids to have to leave town to find somewhere else to sleep. It's almost like reading the diary of Anne Frank, how the black kids had to hide from the Nazis of Appleton. It's the craziest thing ever. And it's in my lifetime. Well, not quite. I was born in 1975, but close enough. In our parents' lifetime, for sure. All right. Mr. Mahdi says, crybaby snowflakes. Ha, 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 ha. Mahdi. Arkansas is my mom hometown. Very prejudiced, Mahdi. So the state of Arkansas is her hometown? That's cool. So she's from clearly a pretty big town if the whole state is the hometown. Gene says, in reference to Jim, who was a random person that called this show complaining about an interview he heard with Dr. Ken on WTMJ, says, I can't read that. It's got some profanity in it. Gene, language. The group wanted the orientation open to white kids, not just students of color. Oh, I think I get it now. They were going to do a separate orientation for students of color entering Appleton, either East or West High School, which I could understand that because black kids and brown kids, they may have a different experience, and maybe it's black and brown faculty and staff that want to orientate these children separately to tell them about resources, to tell them what to expect. And when you are informing black and brown children about a school that has very little diversity, there might be things you want to share with those black and brown children that the white kids don't need to hear or don't care about because it doesn't apply to them. As much as I would love to believe that we are all the same, as much as I would love to believe the outright Peter Pan fairy tale that skin color doesn't make a difference, it does. I can show you actual data. I can show you statistics in every measurable category of human existence where being black or brown in this country costs you something. Life expectancy, health outcomes, you're going to have less money, you're less likely to be a homeowner, you're less likely to have, assets, all sorts of things, more likely to have interactions with the police, more likely to have an arrest record, more likely to have a poor credit score because of skin color. And so when I tell people all of those things that are very real, you can't say that skin color is just a figment of our imagination. And here's the thing. It's not a black or brown person's problem. It's a white people problem. Racism is not our problem. It is not my job nor obligation to show and to teach and to instruct white people on how to be less racist. You have to want to unlearn all of the negative things and the lies that you have been told. You have to. A lot of us have learned things that are just wrong. They were incorrect. At the time that we learned them, maybe it was some time ago, the world is different now. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we had different information. We had less information. We just didn't know. And of course, what did our parents do? Or what do our parents say? We did the best we could. And God bless them. They did. They did the best they could with the information that they had. But that information sometimes turns out to be wrong, erroneous, not factual, prejudice, racist. So we have to unlearn that. Just like if y'all ever go see a therapist, which I highly recommend, reading some of these text messages I get from y'all, like 92.5% of y'all need therapy. Okay. Your therapist will tell you there are some learned behaviors that can cause a negative pattern in your life. You got to unlearn that stuff. Just like we like to learn new things, don't we? Like to hear new stuff. We like to have our horizons broadened, don't we? Yes, we do. We love to learn new things, but you got to unlearn the bad stuff. And they'll say that they got black people in their family, but it's never really them. It's like, my sister's great niece's uncle has a black adopted boy from the Sudan. I'm not racist. My daughter had sex with lots of Puerto Rican men, and I have got Puerto Rican and white grandchildren, they'll say. I'm not racist. Yeah, you are. Stop using us as an excuse for your unwillingness to unlearn negative stereotypes about black and brown people. I hate when they do that. I'm not racist. I got black friends. If you have to tell me you're not racist, you know that you're racist, but you're trying to deceive me that you aren't racist by saying, here, look at my blacks I have on display. Stand up, black friends. Jump. Show them your teeth. Look at my blacks. Like we're on some kind of an auction block. I have black friends. Look at them. A man can love his wife, his mother, his daughters, his aunts, but still think those same women shouldn't have the right to an abortion. You can love a person and still hate their kind. You can love your wife, gentlemen, but essentially hate women and everything that they're about and everything that they're trying to do, especially if they want equality and justice. You can hate that, but you love your wife. You can say, I'm not sexist. I'm not a misogynist. Look, I have a wife. She can never, ever have an abortion ever, but she can never make the same money as me. I may sexually harass women on my job, but I'm not misogynist. It's not even where I wanted to go with the conversation today. Mike from Mill Road says, it's becoming more so culture for each race demise. Racism is running on autopilot. It's not the same game. Brittany said, Sherwin, you got me hollering already. Love it. JD the poet. Thank you, JD. He sent me the link. So I'm going to post this link in my Facebook group, which is called Hughes Views. It is the follow-up to the forum, too, which, you know, what happened to my original Facebook page. Facebook just said, yeah, you're disabled. 13, I didn't say that, Zach? A 13-year-old Facebook page with all my pictures. There's some pictures that I had on that Facebook page that I only had on Facebook. All my memories were gone. Some of my notable interviews in my broadcast career, all that gone. Messages I got from friends who are no longer with us that passed away, all that stuff is gone. So it was just random. Facebook said, oh, your account has been locked. Please go through this verification process to reclaim your account. I'm not kidding you. They made me hold my phone up to my face for 20 minutes and take a bunch of pictures at different angles of my face. They're going to use facial recognition. I did this for like 20, 30 minutes, right? And they said, okay, we have your information. We're going to review your account. Okay, cool. That was on a Saturday. I woke up Sunday morning. Your Facebook page has been permanently banned. And so all of the other groups and pages that are attached to my main original Facebook page were all disabled. And I said, you can appeal. Click this link to appeal if you think this has been done in error. But then it says, if you lose this appeal, your Facebook page will be permanently deleted and you will not be able to reclaim it. So, of course, I appealed and then they permanently deleted it. Man, I was so hot. Like, you don't realize how much you lean on social media. In fact, when you do this line of work, a lot of the things that I would post would be like litmus tests for broadcast topics, right? So if I post something and it gets hot, it gets a lot of attention and likes and comments and shares, that is typically a topic that will do well on broadcast. And so when Facebook banned my page and all of my associated pages and groups, I was like, I can live without Facebook. I'll be fine. No, you can't. I was walking around here not even knowing what's going on. Sherwin, did you see that thing that's going on Facebook? Sherwin, did you see so-and-so's live? Did you see? I was like, damn. Facebook has a monopoly on my mind. So I have since started another page to my chagrin, started another profile begrudgingly because I just have to be connected to all sorts of people so I can get thoughts and feelings and opinions from a wide swath of human beings. Plus, it allows me to share the links and the conversations that we discuss here on there. So I'm going to take a break, come back, and I'm going to ask a question of the blacks. So if you're black, make sure you stay tuned because I got a question for you. White people, you may listen, but we don't require you to answer. This is a question for the blacks. More specifically, black men. So black men, get your ears on, your listening ears and your thinking cap. I got a question for y'all on the other side. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Girl, I know sometimes you feel tired and overworked, so it's time to pamper your inner queen at Queen's Palace Beauty and Wellness Studio. They're currently offering personalized and relaxing massages, facials, body polish, and now the Fatigue Feet Fix, which can be added on with any service and includes a foot soak, foot cleanse, foot scrub, foot massage, and a paraffin foot treatment, all while enjoying light refreshments and hors d'oeuvres of your choosing. So get your relaxation on. You know you deserve it. Book your appointment today at queenspalace.net.
On Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, I am so excited to talk about the different ways that Erie Insurance can help with our community growth, can provide job opportunities from Erie Insurance Corporate, or with our local agency force. I'm really excited about the education of generational wealth in our Black and Brown communities and how we are a part of the communities here locally. There's so much more we can be a part of. Listen to me, Fred Johnson, on Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets, and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers dropped Game 1 of 3 to the Los Angeles Dodgers on Tuesday night, this one by a final score of 6-2. Despite the loss, the Brewers still leading the NL Central by 3.5 games following the Reds and Cubs loss on Tuesday night. Brewers-Dodgers Game 2 will get underway later tonight with the first pitch of 9:10. Coverage will begin over on 620 WTMJ at 8:35. To the NFL, where the Packers will begin a pair of joint practices later this morning with the New England Patriots before their Week 2 preseason matchup on Saturday. Both of those practices are open to the public. And lastly, the full NBA schedule is set to release this week. The league releasing they will begin the new in-season tournament beginning on November 3rd. And per The Athletic, the NBA will showcase 5 Christmas games this season, one of those including Milwaukee versus New York. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, I got a question for black men because I hear this from black men, especially when there's an election coming up or we're entering into an election cycle. So an election cycle is the time in which we are discussing or involved in an upcoming election. So we are in the 2024 election cycle. Next week, the first Republican debate. Please do not confuse the Republican National Convention, which is going to be in Milwaukee next year, with the Republican presidential debate. The Republican presidential debate is a bunch of them fools up on the stage going at each other, trying to prove that they're more qualified than the other. Donald Trump has not yet confirmed that he will be at the debate. I hope he's there. I hope he's there. Mr. Indicted himself. Fulton County Sheriff said, oh, yeah, he's going to publish Donald Trump's mugshot, his height, and his weight. I cannot wait for that to happen. He said, oh, no, we're going to treat him just like anybody else, which I highly doubt. they ain't going to treat them the same. But he said he's going to publish it. So here's a question I have for black men, because I hear this from black men. Like, I don't even know if I ever hear black women or women of color even questioning, well, what is the Democratic Party going to do for me? Well, first and foremost, if you're a woman, they're going to attempt to protect your right to choose. So, and when it comes to women, like, that's a big one for them. In fact, that's the issue. So, women don't ever say, hey, what's the Democratic Party going to do for me? I think they have other examples. They know, right? They know that the Democratic Party has done more, has shown more, has attempted more at providing some type of fairness and equality and justice for women, right, throughout the years. But it's black men that say, well, what's the Democratic Party do for us? What do they do for us? And then I heard this yesterday, and we're going to hear it a lot more. Some black men will threaten to withhold their vote, or they'll hold their vote hostage, right? If the Democratic Party doesn't do X, Y, and Z for us, if they don't do right by us, if they don't do more for us, it's when black men then speak for all people. Not women, okay? They're not speaking for women, because I think women know that the Democrats will fight much harder for a woman to regain her right to choose than the Republicans will, because the Republicans are the ones that took it away. And so when black men say, hey, the Democratic Party needs to do right by us, they need to do something for us, they need to do more for us, what exactly is it do you want, brother? And do you think that if you withhold your vote, you got to understand how this works, because I hear it so often. I've been on the air for a lot of elections, y'all, many, and I hear the same stuff. So I'm not doing a good enough job of explaining politics if I keep hearing the same question. So you honestly think, black men, if you withhold your vote from the Democrats, and here's the thing, I don't care if you withhold your vote, because most of y'all do all that jaw jacking, don't vote anyway. You're just making noise. But you think for a second, if you withhold your vote from the Democrats and they lose an election, okay? Because these elections nowadays are very, very close. So a black man say, I'm not voting for the Democrats. And then you withhold your vote, you hold your vote hostage, you boycott the Democratic Party. What do you think they're going to do for you? They won't be able to do anything, because you would have then helped elect a Republican who are going to take from you. So here's the question. What on earth do you want the Democrats to do? They're not going to fix bad decisions that you made, sir. They're not going to make your life perfect. You got to do like 98% of that. A political party is an organization. It is a corporation. It is designed to make money, to gather funds. That's what a political party is. That's what they do. And they then give that money based upon issues. They give that money to candidates that are involved with that party. Very simple, okay? Very easy. That's what they do. Thinking that a political party is going to be your savior is like assuming that people you work with are actually your friends. They're not. I mean, they can be nice. Political parties can be nice. They can say nice things. They can do nice things. They can promote nice things. But if you're not involved in it, it's not going to help you, right? So the question is, what do we want that we are willing to threaten withholding our vote until the Democrats do something for it? What do you want them to do? And whatever that is, I assure you it will not be enough. So I'm curious, for those of you that say, oh, the Democrats don't do anything. Okay, fair enough. I'll hear you out. But what do you want them to do? What is our ask as black people? Make it reasonable. Don't be asking for no $88 million and trying to say it's reparations. What is a reasonable request for a political party, be it at the national level or the state level or the local level? What's a reasonable ask for black people in exchange for our vote? Because a lot of black men, it's not really black women, will say, hey, you need to give us something. You need to do something for us. Something needs to be tangible that you provide for us to vote for you, darn Democrats. Well, what do you want? They're not going to get you a car. They're certainly not going to fix your credit. They're not going to, because some of your credits are impossible to fix. Let's talk to Rob. You're on the new 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I am good. First time caller. Enjoy the show.
Welcome. Thank you, sir.
To answer the question, I guess they could start with reparations across the board, Native American and Black. That's the simple answer to your question. But the presidential vote doesn't count. Like, we cast our presidential vote. It's for the popular vote. The popular vote doesn't determine the president. The electoral vote does. So whoever casts the electoral vote picks the president, chooses the president.
Correct, but the electors are activated by the popular vote. So you got two parties. You got a Democrat, you got a Republican. If the Republican wins more of the popular vote in the state of Wisconsin, then the Republican electors cast their votes for the Republicans. So the electors are representative of the popular vote. I'm sorry, did you say no?
They don't have to go along with that. There's cases where the electoral went the total opposite direction as the popular vote.
Give me an example. Because right now, brother, hold on now. They tried to do that in a couple of states. Wisconsin is one of them, and they're all being federally indicted. So give me an example. Right. If you're gonna say it, you got to be able to give us an example so we can talk about the example of where voters in a state picked one. So you don't have an example because it doesn't happen.
I don't have it in front of me.
Well, then I'm gonna be here till 12, brother. I'm gonna be here till 12 o'clock. So you call me back then.
Enjoy the show.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I figured. Ask somebody to give some evidence. And I'm saying I don't have it. Let me see. There might have been a case where a rogue elector didn't cast, but then they get an alternate elector, right? So electors are individual people that are selected by political parties based upon your electoral college count. Don't y'all know this? I don't need to go over this? Do I need to go over Civics 101? I guess so, because every election y'all be asking the same questions of what are the Democrats going to do for us? All right, so each state gets 2 senators. We know that much, right? Didn't y'all watch Schoolhouse Rock? God, I wish they'd bring Schoolhouse Rock back. Rhea, can you go on YouTube and find I'm Only a Bill, Schoolhouse Rock? I feel like we just... Rhea, do you remember Schoolhouse Rock? Okay. We need to bring it back because these kids grow up to be dumb. And we need to have a lot less dumb because all the dumb is just, it hurts my heart. Like some people. Also, I got an update from the blind lady. Yeah, it's a saga. So she emailed me again last night, and I can't even make it up. I'm gonna have to actually read it. So please don't let me forget to read the email from the blind lady. All right. So each U.S. state gets 2 senators. Okay. And then for every 500,000 people of population, you get 1 member of the House of Representatives. Okay, so if you got 1 million people in your state, you'll have 2 members in the House of Representatives and 2 senators. 2 plus 2 is 4. Remember, 500,000 people, 1 member of the House. You got 1 million people, that's 2 members of the House, and every state is automatically afforded 2 U.S. senators. That is an electoral college count of 4. If the popular vote in that state of 4 electoral college count, if the Democrat wins the popular vote, then the Democrat gets to add those 4 electoral college votes to their total. You need 270 electoral college votes to become president. That's it. I know you guys want to go to a straight popular vote, but here is what I fear in the first 3, 4, 5, 6 elections where we go to an all popular vote. No one is going to campaign in Wisconsin. No one will care about Iowa and Minnesota. Nobody's going to care about the Dakotas. Nobody's going to care about Kansas and Oklahoma and Wyoming. They won't care. They're only going to campaign in the most populated states. Because why would you waste your time, energy, and money campaigning in a state where there's only a couple 100,000 people or single digit millions? You won't. And so what'll happen is this. Places like Texas, California, New York, Pennsylvania will control all of American politics. The issues of those places, which are very different than the rest of the country, presidential candidates will be selected by only the most populated states, leaving the rest of the country essentially without any representation. If we went to an all popular vote system, Wisconsin would be about 1.8% of the overall popular vote, meaning you could skip it. Because we have the Electoral College, Wisconsin is 4% of the Electoral College. So we actually double our importance as a state. And what do we get in return? We got the Democratic Convention was here in 2020. Unfortunately, it was virtual. The Republican Klansman Convention is going to be here next year. We're going to make a bunch of money off that. The first Republican debate is going to be here. We get a lot of political attention, which I think is good because it allows us to shed more light on the issues in Wisconsin and Milwaukee specific. Question is, what do you black people want from the Democratic Party? Rob called in and said reparations. Something reasonable. Because if the Democrats say, okay, blacks, we're going to give you reparations, you know what's going to happen? The Republicans are going to say, excuse me, we're going to vote no. The Democrats cannot single-handedly pay off black people. It would have to be a united effort. And I think politically that's a non-starter. So something reasonable that the Democrats can do for black people so some of y'all can stop threatening to hold your vote hostage. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Coming with straight truth.
What's stuck in your craw that makes you think that a person is going to pay millions of dollars for property that they want to redo, rebuild, reinvigorate the city of Milwaukee on 76 and Brown Deer Road, and you're giving them trouble? Why is downtown always more important than the rest of the city? Is it because black people live up there?
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in this Friday night as we have a battle of two top programs in the state as the Hilltoppers take on the Arrowhead Warhawks. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Magic Productions, Capital Insurance, and Marquette University High School.
Are you a true hip-hop enthusiast looking to immerse yourself in the rich history and culture of hip-hop? Look no further. The Milwaukee Hip Hop Museum is here to take you on a journey like no other. Join the Milwaukee Hip Hop Museum for fascinating exhibitions Monday through Friday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Their guided tours will take you on a journey from the golden era of hip-hop all the way to present day. To schedule an appointment, go to MilwaukeeHipHopPopup.com. Mic check 1 2 1 2. The Milwaukee Hip Hop Museum is here for you.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and and 1017thetruth.com.
So what do we have here? Mike from Mill Road says, if not reparations, then really what could be black specific that a national political party can do? So a national political party would have an agenda, right? Something that we want would be incorporated into what they tell all of their candidates to campaign on, even in areas where there's not a lot of black people. Like, what is that agenda item? Here's why I'm leery on reparations. It's complicated. Private business made money off of slavery. The government didn't make money off of confinement until mass incarceration. That's when they started to profit. Because when we were freed, we were almost immediately arrested because they passed vagrancy laws, because they didn't just want free black people roaming the streets. Do you know how scary that is? If you owned this whole family and all of a sudden they're free, you're scared to death. Because you think to yourself, like, dang, I did a bunch of real terrible stuff to these people. Now they're free. I can't control them anymore. I don't own them anymore. So they passed these vagrancy laws. And the vagrancy laws basically said if you didn't have a place to stay, if you didn't have a place to go, if you didn't have any specific business in a city or a town, they would arrest you. And then the jails that arrested us, where they confined us, those same plantation owners would rent us from the jail, and the jails would make money off of renting us. Now, this was something that happened specifically in the South. So so after slavery is when government started to profit, and it was brief. Now, government sanctioned slavery, but in that same vein, if we're going to get reparations for slavery, then women need to be a part of a class action lawsuit and get all the money that they haven't been paid because their wages are lower. So you think that a political party is responsible, or the government would be responsible for paying us reparations? The private businesses, like the media companies that at the time had newspapers, now a lot of them are digital publications, some of them even have TV stations, they made money collecting ad revenue because people would advertise slave auctions. So media empires, they owe us reparations. The insurance industry, slaves were property. Slave ships were property. They were insured. That cargo was valuable. Some of those insurance companies are still around today. Some of those insurance companies that used to insure slave ships now have black people as clients. They owe us money. But to think a congressional appropriation for black people is something that's realistic. You understand that Congress can't even agree on how to keep the government open. They can't even figure out or agree that we need to actually pay federal employees and pay the military and pay Social Security, because we go off of these fiscal cliffs every few months. So if they can't figure out how to pay themselves, they ain't never going to figure out how to pay us. What about making it easier for black people to make money? What about that? Instead of them giving us money, because here's the problem with money. If you give us a bunch of money, we'll be broke in 72 hours. We don't know what to do with money. That's why we're doubling down on financial literacy. And I don't even like this term, generational wealth. I don't like it for some reason. It gets under my skin. We need bill paying money right now before you get to generational wealth. I think a lot of y'all don't care if your kids are rich. Seriously, I think it's a lot of black folks. They're like, oh, my kids just need to work hard. Why should they inherit all my money? I seriously think that that's a mode of thinking in the black community. Y'all don't want your kids to be rich. Most of y'all are mad at your kids because they're lazy. But generational wealth means you're going to work really, really hard. You're going to save. You're going to be thrifty. You're going to eat ramen so your kids can be rich and never have to worry about money. Nah. I think we know what happens to kids that grow up never having to worry about money, or adults that all of a sudden get this windfall of money from their parents. They turn out to be Donald Trumps and they run for president and they can't believe that they lost an election. That's what they end up being. So this whole generational wealth thing. What about just making it easier? What about fortifying our education? Now, I'm not going to be over here telling you things. I want y'all to tell me what's something reasonable that the Democratic Party can support and make a part of their multi-state platform, whether it be presidential elections, gubernatorial elections, whatever other partisan elections, that we can agree on. Like, what do we want specifically? Reparations is a non-starter, at least right now. We'll talk about that in hour 2. The Truth with Sherwood Hughes will be right back.
Tune into the new 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Ashley Lucas, VP and Business Lending Product Manager at Associated Bank, and we'll discuss the importance of your small business utilizing cash management services to enhance the effectiveness of your daily operations. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. right here on the new 1017 The Truth. Truth Nation, just press play. Your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows are now streaming live on video. Watch us live on 1017 The Truth's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1017thetruth.com. Just press play for the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon. Listen to The Truth all day, every day by downloading the Truth app or streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
From Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And guess what?
What is that, DT?
Our Truth fans can now watch and stream us live every day, Telly.
Wait a minute, Denise. Let me make sure I got this thing right. Our amazing and incredible Truth fans can go to 1017thetruth.com, click the Watch Live link, and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning?
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling Hit segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the Watch Live link.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Dear Hero, thank you for donating plasma. I recently moved off the reservation, which meant a lot of stress, and that set a spiral of attacks. I take the plasma injections bi-weekly, and I haven't had any attacks since trying it. It's just gone. Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Learn more at hhs.gov/giveplasma. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Join the livest radio show in Milwaukee, Nothin But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. Listen every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well,
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And oh, look who we have on line 1. It is Bob. You're on the new 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Hello, Sherwin. I would want to get ahead a little bit, a lot, or whatever. After 70%, over 70 million people voted for Trump after 4 years, I am obliged to vote for Biden. Just if we get ahead. I'm not looking, whatever happens.
Ahead of what, Bob? When you say you want us to get ahead of what or who? Ahead of ourselves?
Well, when he passed certain bills that helped black people, they surely did help black people. Giving funds and these panels for, climate change, more jobs, whatever. It's just common sense. If I get after 70 million people voted for Trump after the 4 years, man.
Bob, what do you want Democrats to do? We're going to stay on the task here. What do you want Democrats to do for black people?
Just make it as equal as possible, little by little, I guess. You can't, after 70 million people, you can't, you got to take it in stride. I was surprised when that guy called and they wouldn't allow blacks to live, that did sports, to live in that town. The 50s was when I was
No, they couldn't stay overnight. They definitely couldn't get any property. They definitely couldn't rent an apartment. They had to be out of the town or out of the city limits by sundown.
Man, that is amazing. That's in the 50s? Wow. That's not long ago. Man, white folks in Illinois are somewhat different from Wisconsin.
Some of them are worse.
Except in the rural area. They're somewhat like Wisconsinites. They're more used to blacks in Illinois than Wisconsin.
You mean in Chicago they're more used to blacks?
Well, a little bit on the outskirts, and like Bensonville and near the airport, and they're just more you. But when you get out in the rural area, then they're more like Wisconsinites, and it's just, and I just want to say one more thing before I leave, if you don't mind. I was in line in a grocery store, and there was 2 white women.
Oh boy!
And do you know? Okay, wait a minute. Do you know we have a black man president and a black woman vice president, and because there's 70 million people, white women have actually caused the white man to be number one in this world. And they haven't been vice president or president. And so they didn't know I was behind them.
Wait.
So
you lost me. Can you start over? Start over. You're behind the white ladies in the grocery store line. And they say, you're saying the white women voted for a black man president and a black woman vice president, and they have never been either. As far as white women go, they've never been president or vice president. Is that what you're saying they said?
Whether they voted for them or not, I don't remember saying that. I just remember them saying, hey, we're the reason white man is ahead. I don't understand. And now most black white women don't feel that way, but these 2 white women did, and they didn't know I was behind them in line.
So these white women were admitting that white men are ahead.
They are number one. They rule this world, basically.
Is that what those white women were saying, or is this you adding in your comments? What was the white women saying, man? What were they saying?
They run things. They run the world.
White women run the world.
Yeah, they were like Trumpites. They were like Trumpites, and they said, we haven't been vice president or president. And I don't understand that. A black man has been president and a black woman, and we're the reason they're number one. Why aren't we president? You understand now?
Gotcha.
You understand?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
And then I tapped on his shoulder.
Oh, you shouldn't have did that, Bob. I don't know why you did that.
I tapped on his shoulder, and I said, all you have to do is go to a park, sit on a bench, and cry. And Sherman will buy you a house or a car. No, I was just kidding. That's the whole thing. I was just kidding. Don't get mad. You're such a wonderful target. I couldn't help it.
Get off my phone, Bob. Goodbye. Get off of my phone. Get out of here. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with me for taking his calls? The government didn't profit off of Japanese prison camps during the war, yet they paid the Japanese reparations. Whether or not the government profited monetarily off of black suffering is not the point. At the bare bone minimum, the government provided an environment for black suffering to flourish. Think about an office environment that allows any type of discrimination or harassment to flourish. It's implicit and tacit agreement of the office if they know this environment exists and do not nip it in the bud. So we love to compare ourselves to the Japanese internment camps. And you have to keep in mind, those Japanese folks, a lot of times they were citizens and they actually had jobs. So they were uprooted from their homes. They were taken away from their jobs, meaning they lost actual income. So when they got the reparations, it actually was the income they may have lost when they were unfairly obtained. Japanese people were not bought and sold. Japanese people were not raped. Japanese people's families were not split up and then sent to go work against their will for other human beings. So we cannot compare the two. They were actually working and they lost wages. I can see if black folks had let's say we were already in the United States and we had jobs and we had homes and we had property already, and then they enslaved us. So they took us out of our homes that we owned. They took us away from the property that we owned. They took us, off of our jobs and split up our families after we already had them. That's a different case. We can't look at other groups of people and then the next y'all gonna say that the German government gave the Jewish people reparations. The German government and the German people have done a yeoman's job of coming to terms with the Holocaust. The United States has not come to terms with the institution of the antebellum period in our history. You still can fly a Confederate flag. We're talking about a flag that represents a group of people that try to form their own country where they could still buy and sell human beings, and we still allow that flag to fly. Go ahead and go to Germany and try and fly a Nazi flag and see what happens to you. No, go ahead. Call us when you get there and then let me know how it goes. You can't do it. German government be like, excuse me, what are you doing? What is this flag you are flying? What? You can't do this. We do not allow the Nazi flag to fly in Germany. Shut up. We will ask the questions. What, Rhea? Rhea, do you like Lizzo, right? You like her. What? Can I ask you a question? I got to get back on top. I will ask the question. Do you like her? You like her. She's a good music person.
Why are you doing this today?
I'm not doing anything.
It's not even on topic.
Don't worry about that. I'll get the topic back under control. Do you think she's beautiful?
I think she's pretty, yes.
Okay. You think Lizzo? Okay. A lot of people say they think that Lizzo is pretty. She gets a lot of compliments, right? She's pretty.
What's your angle? What's going on?
But if somebody says you look like Lizzo, that's not a compliment, is it?
I don't think it's not a compliment. I think it's nice.
Okay.
She's not ugly.
I think you're just saying that just to play the devil's advocate.
You asked me a question. I gave you an answer.
I know you did, but I think you saw through what I was trying to do. Women will compliment Lizzo and talk about she slays and she's beautiful. And a woman that said, oh my God, Lizzo is so beautiful and Lizzo slays and Lizzo was all that and she's this and she's that. But if you tell that same woman she looks like Lizzo, that woman want to fight you. Hell no, I don't look like her. But wait a minute, a second ago, you was talking about how beautiful Lizzo is. I'm just saying. And Rhea, you know what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to get back on topic. Grant says, Professor Hughes, we all knew that Bob is a man of many talents. We didn't know that he was a superhero, having the ability to become invisible when he chooses to. Mike from Mill Road says, oh, boy. So long, all women and now gays qualify as minorities. There is nothing that could truly be black specific except, again, reparations. And then Mike from Mill Road said that Bob checkmated me. Not really sure how, but that's fine. Security Mike says, listening in last night from work, Sherwin and so many Trumpians call and text the show when they're mad about the truth on all the indictments. Break them down, Sherwin. Yeah, Trump is going to, like, it's worse for him than I think he even thinks. Because what he's trying to do is have the American people decide his fate. So he wants to get on the ballot in all 50 states, and he wants to try and win the election so that he can pardon himself and select few associates. So he wants the American people, not the justice system, to decide his fate. But here's the problem with Donald Trump running. There's a bunch of problems with him running. So here's the thing. He's going to lose again. And then he again is going to question the integrity of the second election in a row that he lost. That's the problem. He's going to lose. Do you understand? This man has a strategy for when he loses again. He's just going to say the election was rigged. The votes didn't count. Mail-in ballots don't count. He's going to do the same thing. And we're the stupid people for thinking that it's okay for him to run again. Now, if he wins, well, of course I won. Of course. But if he loses, he's still going to say that he won. And we know he's going to do that. Do y'all really want to go through this all over again? Trump getting on the ballot, Trump losing by probably a larger margin than he lost by in 2020, and then him going all around the country saying the election was rigged, and he's still going to have allies who are going to join forces with him and say, yeah, the election was stolen. You're going to have another slate of fake electors. Y'all don't learn anything. I swear to God. He's going to do the same thing. That is literally what he's doing. And here's the thing. He's playing all of y'all. He actually doesn't care if he loses. All he needs is a certain case to go to the Supreme Court in which his political leaning has the majority, and dude might just become president again, even if he loses the election. They're legally experimenting with how far the American democracy can go until it bursts. He is trying to be president without having to win the Electoral College. That's what he's trying to do. Because you can already win the presidency without the popular vote. In fact, the last time a Republican got the popular vote, won the popular vote, it's probably been 20 years or more. Trump wants to find a way to convince enough people. That's why I got to play Schoolhouse Rock, because y'all don't know how the process works. He doesn't care if he loses. He's just going to tell people that he won anyway, and the crooked justice system and Joe Biden, they're all out to get him. That's why they're going to, quote unquote, say he didn't win the election. If Trump loses again, which he will, he's just going to say he won. You think he'll ever admit to defeat? Donald Trump will be sentenced to prison and still be convincing everybody that he's innocent. In an orange jumpsuit. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. Make sure you follow us on the YouTubes and the Twitters. I got probably Facebook and Instagram at 101.7. And on the YouTube, you can watch me with the camera in my face. And you can watch Rhea sometimes, too. Is the camera on you, Rhea? You cannot watch Rhea, but you can watch me. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed.
Let's go. Let's go.
On the Jumbotron.
Let's go. This is zipper all down.
Cameraman's all zoomed in on it.
That could have been real embarrassing.
Wearing your Tuesday's panties when it was Friday.
It is. You're silly. That would be
the most embarrassing part.
Listen to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Making healthier food choices doesn't have to be hard or expensive. You can ensure your children and family get the nutrition they need by making every meal a My Plate meal. Choose healthy items like low-sodium vegetables, fruits canned in 100% juice, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy. Also, buying in-season produce from your local farmer's market, using food share at your local grocery store, or use of the mobile market are all easy ways to save money on food. Make every meal a My Plate meal to make you and your family healthier. Learn more about healthy eating and how you can support nutritious foods for families at www.hungertaskforce.org/myplate.
Who is this at my door? Gina Della from Pella?
Hi, Dr. Ken. You have mosquitoes everywhere in here. Ew! You need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens. They fit inside the actual window and protect you from nature.
Hey, yes. Now that's a phenomenal idea. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So the question is, what do you want, black men, from the Democratic Party? So is reparations the only thing? So there's nothing else they can add to their platform? There's nothing else they can promote and support? Is that the only thing? So seriously, can we just talk about this for a moment? I got to answer some phone calls. You think reparations is going to stop racism? You think money is going to buy you happiness? Let me tell you what goes on. If you're a miserable human being, just like a terrible person, you make bad decisions and you're just terrible. If you get a whole bunch of money, you're just a better financed version of your horrible self. Nothing goes away. In fact, stuff gets worse. So we get a whole bunch of money. And so you think you're going to get treated fairly in the criminal justice system? You think racial profiling is going to magically disappear because you have money? Like, aren't there other systemic things in society that we want to have a focus on? Is it only money? That scares me. If your only motivation or your only desire or the only way wrongs can get righted is with a check, here's what I'm going to do. So if I'm them, I'm never going to give you the check, but I'm going to manipulate you for your need for money. That's what I'm going to do. But aren't there other things? Are there other investments that can be made, other policies that can be supported? And I got a whole list of them, but I'm not asking myself this question because I know the answer. I'm asking y'all. Other than reparations, what can the Democratic Party install in their platform permanently that will make you feel better in voting for Democrats? Democrats across the board, national level, state level, local level. What does the party have to do? What should they do? What do you want them to do? Because if we're quick to withhold our vote because the Democrats aren't doing stuff for us or they're not doing right by us, then what do we want them to do? They can't give you reparations. To think a political party, they can talk about it, they can support it, they can have a focus group on it. In fact, the Congressional Black Caucus since the early 2000s has had a focus group or a committee or a discussion group on reparations, just seeing how it would work. Reparations, ladies and gentlemen, would have to come from the local level. You got a town in California that's going through the motions of what reparations would look like. They even put together a dollar amount. There's a legitimate town somewhere in California. California is an interesting place because it's always very experimental when it comes to democracy. California tries stuff that no other place in the country will try. Then if it works in California, other parts of the country will then adopt it. California said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just legalize weed. The rest of the country was like, are you nuts? California was like, of course we are. 1996, Proposition 215. Marijuana has been legal in California for a generation, and guess what happened? All the other states did. In the 1970s, California had even more strict car emissions because they were worried about the environment then. We still got climate deniers to this day, but for 50 years, California has had much stricter carbon emissions on their vehicles. As a matter of fact, we used to call it California emissions. So if you made cars for the other 49 states, no big deal. If you made cars and if you wanted to sell them in California, which is the state that probably buys the most cars, they had to meet California's specific state emissions requirement. So California, there's a town where they found that LGBTQ people make less money. I don't know why they make less money. They just do. And so I'm not kidding you. They give LGBT people like a check, like a stipend, like a what do they call the thing? Andrew Yang wanted to do universal basic income. If you're gay, bet a lot of y'all would be gay for a check. How do you prove it? Right? Why do you look perplexed, Rhea? You look like you're angry. California actually has a town where the gay people get money for being gay because it's been substantiated that they make less money, so they get supplemental income from local government. Mr. Mahdi texted in, there's a town in Illinois where their like home repairs are free or low cost or something for black people as a form of reparations. Federal government and the National Democratic Party is not going to be where your reparations comes from. Reparations in the city of Milwaukee could be making housing values on par with the actual square footage of your house, not the neighborhood you live in or the zip code you live in. Reparations in Milwaukee is if we have a school district that has a majority black students, giving the same funding in those schools and you give to Whitefish Bay and other suburban schools would be a type of reparations, but y'all wouldn't see it that way. Let's talk to John. John, you want to talk about the state fair. Did you go to the state fair, John?
Yes, I did. I took two nieces and a nephew with me. Now, to go back to my history of the state fair, I go back 80 years. When I was 7 or 8 years old, my aunt thought I should see the fair put together. My brother and I've forgotten who else was there. And back then, the biggest attraction at the state fair was the circus. We went out there on a streetcar. At that time, they had the interurban that connected Milwaukee to West Allis. And you get out there early in the morning, and here's all these men pounding stakes in the ground to put up tents, horses doing work. I even think elephants were doing work. So that was my history with the state fair. I went once about 20 years ago, and I kind of liked it then. I would never go to the state fair again.
Why?
I spent $60 on water with 3 children in the heat. You don't let children dry out. You don't let children become dehydrated. You were spending $4 and $5 for a bottle of water. The rides, that's what the children went out there for. They love those rides, and they're exciting for young people. But you get a $20 wristband. That was $120 for 3 children.
Oh, wow.
And they can go on any ride they want. The rides are exciting. Back 80 years ago, I think they had a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel, and I don't remember anything else. But it's just about making money now. There's nothing cultural about it. There's nothing really interesting to me about it. And you know what I'd love to see at the fair? Attention given to the black settlers in West. Do you know that there were black explorers in Wisconsin?
Yes.
I think one discovered Portage, Wisconsin, and they were trying to, at the time to hook up the Wisconsin River with the Fox River, I think. Something like that would be interesting, but they don't have anything. They're not interested in that. They could care less. They just want to take your money, and you can't bring water into the park. You've got to buy $4 and $5 a bottle for water. I would much rather take children to the circus, but the children love those rides. So I would suggest the children get a job and save their own money and pay $40 for a wristband. But I did enjoy it because I just enjoyed children and seeing things, and watching people was interesting too.
Oh, yeah, good people watching out there at the fair, I tell you what.
At one point, my niece, the oldest child with me she started middle school Monday. So
These are your grandnieces, I'd imagine, because your nieces and nephews are in their 40s.
Great niece.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got to be a little more specific. I'm thinking, wow, John is walking around with a bunch of 60-year-olds at the fair. No, these are great nieces and nephews.
She knew I didn't know the park. She knows the park. She'd been there before. One thing that was really interesting was the last ride she wanted to go on was that cable car with all those cars that circles the park and goes back and around.
The Sky Glider.
Yeah, she wanted to go on that. I wasn't interested in that. She said, no, I'm going to buy you a ticket too. So we pay for the tickets, and we stand there waiting to get on the car until somebody says, excuse me, you've got to go to the end of the line. I looked to where she was talking about. We couldn't see the end of the line.
Oh.
My niece never moved. Now, I said, how is this going to play out? I'm going to let them handle this. Then an official came up. A lady came up and said, you're cutting the line. My oldest niece said, oh, no. My little sister's been here all the time. She's been holding this place for us. She wasn't telling the truth, but the lady looked at me and I looked away. We stayed in line and cut the line.
John, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, when you think all the things that happen to children,
$5 bottles of water, you deserve to cut the line.
You got that right. On reparations.
Oh, John, I got to actually take a break because it sounds like you got a lot to say. So can you say what you have to say about reparations very quickly?
The closest we ever came to reparations was Tulsa and Wilmington, North Carolina, when ex-slaves were allowed to do their thing to the best of their ability, and it scared white folks to death, and that's why they wiped them out.
Fair enough. We'll leave it there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your call, and you're lamenting about State Fair being expensive. If I get to be 87 years old, God willing, that's what I want to do. I want to call talk radio shows and just complain about the cost of everything. I remember back in the day, see? We used to shoot guns at the State Fair, indeed we did. That's right, a long time ago. Can't believe it now. Won't even allow me to bring my gun to the State Fair, you know? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is dedicated to celebrating diversity in the cities where they live and work. Because of this dedication, they support black businesses not just during National Black Business Month, but throughout the year. Supporting black businesses boosts local economies, produces jobs, and helps entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. Educators Credit Union will continue sharing the stories of black businesses, building relationship with businesses in local communities, and buying from these businesses. Learn more about their community partnerships at ecu.com.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I lost my 10-year-old daughter, Teresa, to COVID in just a few short days. Teresa was a healthy child who loved to dance. When Teresa got sick, I didn't think it was serious until she was rushed to the hospital. COVID and flu can be serious for anyone, but they're especially dangerous for communities of color. Please get your COVID and flu vaccines and stay up to date on all immunizations, because vaccines save lives.
To learn how to protect your family, visit vaccinateyourfamily.org/learn.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
My mom used to always tell me, be careful of the company you keep. My interpretation of that message was, don't hang out around bad people doing bad things. When my thoughts became a little more sophisticated, I realized it was her way of making me understand the power of influence others can have on your decisions. No matter the distance perception might be from reality, you are or will become who you hang around. Benefit by surrounding yourself with like-minded people or mentors you can see yourself becoming and use their journey as a blueprint. That's why you don't see eagles hanging with pigeons, because they don't have the same goals or aspirations. Words are just words when you don't understand or practice the meaning. So I had to turn to one of my favorite books. That's right, sounds nerdy, but I went to the old dictionary to look up the word company. One of the definitions of company is the fact or condition of being with another or others, especially in a way that provides friendship and enjoyment. In addition to that definition, keep in mind the company you keep is a choice. The company you keep can propel you to great heights or rob you of all your hopes and dreams based on your association or who is championing you. Don't be afraid to stand up and stand out for the right reasons, even if that means having to do it alone, because sooner or later, others will understand.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Correction. It's not universal basic income for the LGBTQ community. It's universal basic income just for the T's. A California city is planning to give universal basic income to transgender and non-binary residents. Transgender residents in Palm Springs, California, are now eligible to receive a universal basic income of $900 per month solely for identifying as transgender or non-binary with no strings attached. I bet there's a lot of people that are going to take advantage of that. Just like if we had reparations for black people, first of all, you'd have to prove your lineage some kind of way. There's going to be a catch to it. Like, there'll be a bunch of white people saying, oh, I took a 23andMe DNA test. I'm 2.4% black. Would they then get 2.4% of some reparations money? Okay, black people, you got to take a genetics test to determine your level of blackness. And then they're going to have our genetic information on file forever. Like, there's going to be a catch. You're not just going to get some money. Unless you go to Palm Springs and identify as non-binary, which has got to be fairly easy to do, because non-binary can just be a person that says they're non-binary. Like, there's no like specific style of dress, or there's not a t-shirt or anything that you wear. So you go to the Universal Basic Income office and just say, hey, how are you guys today? Yeah, I'm non-binary. So here's where you send the check to. It just seems kind of exploitative, doesn't it? Let's talk to someone who's been holding for a very long time. Curtis, thank you for your patience. You're on the new 1017 The Truth.
Hey, good morning, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. So, as far as Democrats, man.
Okay.
The one thing I would love for Democrats to do is to come up with a rock-solid foundation, a platform that they explain thoroughly until they know people get it. You know what I mean? Just come up with a rock-solid platform of whatever it is. I don't know, whatever we stand for now. Because I don't think our messaging is very good as far as what the Democrats will want to do and things of that nature. And so I just think they need to come up with a better, like, just put it all out on social media, put out PSAs, just tell us exactly what they stand for, what they want to stand for, right? And then black people that want to call in and complain about politicians and especially Democrats, 9 times out of 10, I don't believe they took a civics class at all. Because I'm listening to them and I'm like, they think Democrats just make all the unilateral decisions, like, because they're in office, they can just do this and they can just do that. But there's this thing called a process, the political system, we have to fight the Republicans on. If the Republicans outnumber us in the House or the Senate and they outvote us, then that's really whatever we said, whatever the Democrats said they want to do, they're not going to be able to do because they're being blocked by the Republicans. And it's a very simple concept. But every time somebody calls in and say, well, why don't the Democrats just do this and just do that? I'm like, bruh, or sis, or whatever. Just let's figure out the system first and see how it works. You know, because that's the only way you're going to get an understanding. And it even says that in the Bible. In all thy getting, get an understanding. Understand what it is that they're trying to do. And I think the Democrats need to understand what they need to do better. They need to tighten up their ship, and they need to explain it to people that want to vote for them. You know, and so I don't care about the history of the Democrats. I done heard people talking about, well, you know, they started the KKK and all this stuff. That was 100 years ago, and the Republicans stood right by them, and they helped them set it up too. They ain't no better. So there's no way I would ever jump. If I'm going to vote for Democrat, why would I jump from the frying pan into the fire? You know, so until the Republicans can actually come up and say, hey, we want to do this for the American people. Because you can't just say there's no legislation that says whites only. I defy somebody to come up to me that says there's a legislation that says these benefits or laws are for whites only that exist today and still enforceable. I would love to see that, because black people keep calling in saying, well, they need to tell us what they're going to do for black people. They want legislation that says blacks only. And I just don't see that happen. Last time I seen whites and blacks only was in this black and white picture, and it stood over bubblers. You know, so I just don't think black only legislation is going to be genuine. I just don't think it could happen. It could be legislation that could help all black people, but it ain't just because it doesn't say black in it doesn't mean it's not going to help us, whatever that may be. Reparations, whatever. You know, long as it's helping my people, that's all I care about. I don't care if it say black or not.
Okay.
If my people, my Mexicans, my Asian friends, everybody, if they happen to get a benefit off of that too, good, because they're here. If they're legalized American citizens and they belong over here, then yes, they should get a benefit too, whatever it is. So, you know, I just wish the Democrats would just get a stronger base, explain their platforms a lot clearer and stronger, and just give people more incentive to want to vote for them. Because otherwise, you know, what do we got? So that's all I had to say. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Curtis. That was wonderful. I'm glad that you called in, Curtis. Rhea, I want to mark Curtis's call, because I think some of those things could be useful down the road. Maybe we do a promo with a piece of that. No, Curtis is absolutely correct. So if there is a policy, and I'll push back a little bit, Curtis. No, they can't say this particular bill, this law, this policy is for whites only. But what they can say is tax cut for people that make over $2 million a year. We know what race of people will disproportionately be able to take advantage of something like that. So you can look at things like economics and base policy off of the different tiers of economics. And if you do things for people at the very very, very top end scale of the economic spectrum, we know that that's dominated by one race versus another. The Democratic Party platform in the United States is generally based on liberalism contrasting with conservatism. Economic issues, equal economic opportunity, a robust social safety net and social security program, and strong labor unions are at the heart of the Democratic Party's economic policy. Democrats favor a mixed economy and generally support a progressive tax system, higher minimum wages, Social Security, universal health care, public education, and subsidized housing. Now, I didn't hear anything specific for black people, but black people are impacted by all of those things. If a political party wants to raise minimum wages, who do you think is going to be most impacted by that? If a political party wants to make sure that Social Security lasts forever, because some of y'all are not saving for your retirement, but the government is saving for your retirement, and to ensure you're going to get Social Security, one party wants to spend your Social Security money on cocaine and strippers. Or I don't know what the Republicans want to spend it on, but they're always trying to take it. Universal health care, you know that's going to impact us. We're sicker than everybody else is. Public education and subsidized housing are part of the economic platform of the Democratic Party. Minimum wage, health care, education. Democrats favor improving public education by raising school standards and reforming the Head Start program. They also support universal preschool and expanding access to primary education. Some Democrats support this through charter schools. They call for slashes in student loan debt and support reforms to force down tuition costs. The environment. Democrats believe that the government should protect the environment and have a history of environmentalism. You know, we live near more toxic waste dumps, and, you know, it's hotter in black communities because there's less green space. We're more impacted by climate control or climate change than anybody else. That is something that impacts black people. They can't say this is the black people climate reduction bill. It's for everybody, but we just happen to benefit. Really, anything positive that happens in this country policy-wise is going to impact black people probably disproportionately. Renewable energy and fossil fuels, trade agreements. What's this one here? What's this? I got Shirley Chisholm pictured here. The modern Democratic Party emphasizes social equality and equal opportunity. Democrats support voting rights and minority rights, including LGBT rights. The party passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 after a Democratic attempt to filibuster led by Southern Democrats, which for the first time outlawed segregation. Edward Carmines and James Stimson wrote, quote, "The Democratic Party appropriated radical liberalism and assumed federal responsibility for ending racial discrimination." Voting rights. In 2012, the Democratic Party believes the right to vote and to have one's vote counted is an essential American freedom, and that is one we are starting to take for granted because Donald Trump tried to tell Mike Pence to ignore your vote and implement the loser, which was Donald Trump, as the next president of the United States. Abortion and reproductive rights, immigration, gun control, because, you know, we get shot more than anybody else does. Democrats are against the death penalty, torture, believe in the right to privacy. Then you got foreign policy. The Democrats do a lot of things. Now, here's the thing, and I heard what Curtis was saying. The Democrats need to promote their agenda more. They need to do more PSAs, even though they're a corporation, they'd have to pay for their advertising. But I get it. They need to talk about what they actually stand for. That's what the candidates do, my babies. The candidates talk about the issues. The Democratic Party, the DNC, collects the money and gives the money to the local Democrats and the state Democrats, and those are the ones that we talk to, that I interview, that you see out and about, out in the community, at block parties, at different events. They are supposed to be the ones that take bits and pieces of this agenda and communicate that to you all, those things that they stand for. Because some of the stuff wouldn't make any sense, right? So if we have somebody running for the state assembly, they don't got nothing to do with Social Security, even though protecting Social Security is a part of the Democrats' overall platform. If they're running for a state representative position, they're not going to talk about Social Security. Even though it's in the Democratic Party's platform, that's not something that they have purview over. But the things that a state elected official have purview over that fit into and that are a part of the Democratic Party's broad platform, that's what they're going to talk about. Let me make this analogy, then I'm going to take a little pause for the cause. The Democrats and the Republicans, think about them as a married couple. The Democrats are the husbands and the Republicans are the wives. I know y'all probably want that reversed, but no. The Democrats are the men and the Republicans are the women. I just want you to picture Donald Trump in a wig. The Democrats can say, as the husbands, I'm buying a Corvette. I'm going to get me a sports car with our money. Because remember, the money they spend is theirs collectively. It's our money as a nation. They decide how to spend the money, right? The Democrats that are the husband in this very dysfunctional and exceptionally toxic marriage say, I'm buying a Corvette. And you know what the Republican wife says? No, you're not. Guess what? You're not getting a Corvette. You want a Corvette, you better get you a magazine with a Corvette picture in it. The Democrats can say, I want reparations for all the blacks. The Republicans can say, as the wife in the marriage, nope. Guess what? Ain't no reparations. We have to get a constantly arguing, bickering, fighting two-party system that are in a dysfunctional marriage. We have to get them to agree, not disagree. They disagree plenty. We have to get them to agree with each other. And you would think that they would come together and agree for the children, which are the American people. But they are a married couple that hate each other, but for some reason just can't get a divorce. Sometimes the Democrats will cheat with a Democratic socialist or with like an independent. Like they'll sleep with the Democratic socialist. So Bernie Sanders is like our side piece. He's a Democratic socialist, right? Not really a Democrat, certainly not a Republican. There's not a lot of Democratic. We can't have a Democratic socialist presidential candidate and expect them to win. But like we'll flirt with Democratic socialist ideas, but we won't ever really commit to them. But the Democrats and the Republicans are a dysfunctional, toxic, married couple that need to get divorced. But here's the thing. Don't nobody else, if they get divorced, nobody else would want them. They'd be on a dating site trying to find a new mate. The Republicans would probably hook up with the Libertarians. And I guess the Democrats, if they got divorced from the Republican Party completely, we'd probably be hoes and mess with the Democratic Socialists and the Green Party a little bit. But eventually we would just come back together and reconnect our dysfunctional marriage. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Come out to the Harbor Park Jazz Rhythm and Blues Festival at Celebration Place in Kenosha on Saturday, August 19th. The festival will feature a Kenosha hot dog and sausage cook-off between the Kenosha Police and the Kenosha Firefighters. Entertainment begins at 2 p.m. with performances by Landy Cabrera, Stephen Hall Experience, and headliner, Grammy Award-winning guitarist Norman Brown. See you in Kenosha for great music, food, and fun on Saturday, August 19th. For more information, visit mahonefun.org.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you choose Ascension, Wisconsin for your family's care needs, you'll get the right care at the right place at the right time And you'll get an entire team ready to care for your family. Family medicine doctors care for the whole family, and Ascension Wisconsin will help make sure your family is up to date on screenings and yearly wellness checks. Ascension also cares for you when you are sick and helps manage ongoing chronic conditions. If you don't have a primary care doctor, go to GetAscensionWisconsinCare.com to find one today.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15's. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let me see what we got here. Always at Work says, if neither political party is going to do anything for black men, then we shouldn't vote for either political party and vote independent. So exactly what do you want? I've been asking this question. I guess I got some answers. Curtis is probably the most thorough in his reply. How do you think that would go over? They said, yeah, we have a black men bill for black men. Black men are going to get hired and all make $195,000 a year in full benefits, but only black men need apply. The thing about a multiracial, multicultural democracy is you cannot single out benefits and gifts by race. I know that it happens, but you're not supposed to be able to do that in an ideal world. We got to separate racial understanding from political parties. And then Always at Work goes on to say, no matter what, white men get anything they want, no matter who they vote for, because they're white. The party ain't got nothing to do with it. The skin color is the advantage in this nation. White men get something no matter who they vote for, and a white woman's right to choose is not even a real issue. Not a woman's right to choose, not a white woman's right to choose. And a woman's right to choose is not even a real issue when we have everything from Plan B to birth control, abstinence. Choose any of those options. A woman isn't helpless in this process. So, yeah, I can understand why you have the understanding that you do about what political parties should and shouldn't do for black people, because if you think that a woman's right to choose is not a real issue, it's not a real issue for you, sir, because I'm assuming you don't have ovaries. And yes, of course, there's birth control methods, but sometimes women get pregnant and she should not be forced to have the baby. So are you trying to say that and abstinence, that doesn't work? Sex feels too good. It does. Why do you think sex feels good? So there's always going to be people, because we always keep doing it. Some of y'all are like rabbits. You don't stop doing it. I don't even know how you work sometimes. How do you go to work? You're always humping all the time. Calm down with the humping. Sometimes women get pregnant, and it's unintended. Shouldn't have to have the baby. Ladies, I don't blame you. I wouldn't have his baby either. You know what I'm saying? If certain men got me pregnant, I know this is a very unusual topic. I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. Okay, how about this? What if men could get pregnant? You know how many abortions we would have? Oh, we would laugh about it. If men could get pregnant, if we had to bear the burden of carrying a baby, just got to figure out where it would come out. That'd be the tough part. We would have so many abortions. I'd be, hey, Chuck, Pete, Roscoe, hey, what's going on this weekend, y'all? Well, I'm finna go down and get an abortion, and I'm probably gonna get a bottle of Hennessy, and I don't know, I'll probably drive down to Illinois and buy some weed. Oh, what you gonna do, Charles? Yeah, I'm gonna get an abortion. I don't know, probably this week or next week. I better hurry up though. So, other than that, no, I'm just gonna probably chill. Just gonna watch something on Netflix. Hey, Jonathan, what's going on? Man, I'm pregnant again, dog. For real? Jonathan, we told you, but man, I know, but she was fine. She was fine, though. I couldn't help it. I had to give her a little sample. All right. I guess you going to get an abortion. Yeah, I'm probably going to ride with Pete. We're just going to ride down there. We're going to get our little abortions or whatever. We're probably going to go to a bar and get some chicken wings. Like, that's what we would do. We would get so many abortions. Y'all know that it's true. But the only reason why we say as men it's not an issue is because it doesn't happen to us. Just like white folks can say a lot of things in our reality as black people is not real because it doesn't happen to them. But I know we would get abortions. Sherwin, what you doing the day after the show? Well, I got pregnant again yesterday, so give me another abortion. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Hey, good morning. Y'all should change this station to the Butt Naked Truth. That was the Butt Naked Truth. Miss DC,
oh my God, love that.
I'm so scared of you. I mean, it's like, you sweet, but when somebody rub you the wrong way, you better look out.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I'm going to read your text messages in just a second. So can someone help me out with something? So apparently there was a shooting at a gas station / convenience store on Titonia and Roosevelt, where a security guard allegedly shot and killed a man for shoplifting. And it seems like there's a protest or a small one happening now. When did this take place? Does this sound at all familiar? Because I didn't watch very much local news this morning because it's mostly dumb. But I didn't hear anything about a shooting. Apparently the man is deceased, shoplifter, for stealing some cakes from a gas station on Titonia and Roosevelt. So if you guys have any further details about that, by all means, please provide the information. All right, Always at Work says, why is a woman not accountable for their actions? If I could get pregnant, I would deal with the consequences of my actions. Oh, stop it. No, you wouldn't. Don't. Really? If somebody raped you Always at Work, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to have this rapist baby. No, you wouldn't. And a woman having an abortion is being accountable for her actions. Do y'all understand that most of the kids that are out here right now, including y'all's, are not wanted? You don't want your kids. You don't take care of your kids. You don't look after your kids. You're not providing your kids with guidance and hope, or any structure. So why? I'm so confused by that. If children are unwanted and unloved, they kill people. How can we not understand this very basic premise of society? Unloved and unwanted children hurt people. They kill people. Kids that are not loved at home go to school to try and get love or get some kind of attention. That's why they act out, because at least they're getting some kind of attention. If a woman doesn't want to have a baby, she shouldn't have the baby. Period. Y'all want a baby that bad? Go adopt one. There's plenty of kids available for adoption. I'm wondering if I can answer Miss Griffin's phone call, even though Rhea has stepped out of the studio. Miss Griffin?
Sir.
Oh, hi, Miss Griffin. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Mr. Sherman, I just heard you say about a man going having an abortion. What about a man carrying a baby and the baby coming 6, 8, 10 pounds coming through that penis? How you think he'll like that?
We wouldn't like it at all, ma'am. We would not like that.
That's all I had to say.
You said a mouthful. Thank you, Miss Griffin. Ouch! Ow! 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 Give me an epidural. Ow. Mr. Mahdi says they're about to burn that gas station down. Don't start that rumor. It ain't burning nothing down. Dion said, I missed you this Saturday at Truth Fest. I went down there towards the end. I was there. I got attacked by Miss Shaq. It's on video. I got set up. They set me up. Sure, when somebody's here to see you. I was like, who? I turned around. Here come Miss Shaq running full speed. Sherry! Ah! Ah! And she wrapped her leg around me like an old freak. 414688 says, good morning, Sherwin. I am so sick of Trump. Wish he would just go away. The next year will be deja vu, the same old lies over and over, the Republicans babying his big old butt. I've never seen so many men go so hard for another man. It's weird, LOL. Have a good day. Yeah, I agree. Brittany says, Sherwin, do you have big girl phobia with Lizzo in parentheses? Big girl phobia, like, am I scared of big women? Well, that depends. How big? Miss Griffin? Are you calling me back? Guess not. Phone was just ringing. Do I have big girl phobia? How big are we talking here? You know what I mean? Like how there's thick, there's curvy. Thick and curvy can be synonymous. And then we get into the BBW. Do I have a phobia of them? I don't know if phobia is the right word. Don't know if that's appropriate to discuss. Rodney says, I don't get the call for reparations in today's world. You're not the ones who deserve it. It's for forefathers and women that deserves it and more. What would they do with it anyway? Not educate the youth, not invest it. The clothing business will thrive, that's all. So there has been long-lasting generational harm done to black folks. So imagine if we were able to own land and own property, even going back to the 1830s or 1840s, when everybody else was moving westward to settle land. If black people could have been a part of that, right? And we could have owned farms and homesteads going back 160, 170 years, assuming that some of that land stayed in our families and we built houses on it, it would be tremendously valuable. But because we did not have that ability in large swaths of the country, we were economically disadvantaged, right? You can look at something as recent as even housing segregation and redlining. African Americans were not legally allowed to purchase property where their property values went up the fastest, where the amenities were the best, and where the schools were better funded. And because we were kept out of that, we can see demonstrated harm right now. So there are folks who are trying to assign a monetary value, and these are just a couple of examples, trying to design, well, how much money did we actually lose out in homeowner equity because we weren't able to get loans because banks and the federal government would not insure a mortgage to a black family, right? How much does that cost us, right? If our schools have been traditionally underfunded, like how has that equated in the number of African Americans that maybe have dropped out of high school or didn't go to college or didn't finish college because the public education, our primary years in education, secondary education was underfunded? Like, what does that equate to in dollars now? So even if we figure out that dollar amount, okay, it doesn't matter because the harm that was demonstrated still exists. We have to clean up every remnant of racism that's structural and that's institutional. So even if you pay black folks off, you will be spending your reparations money in a system that is still structurally racist. So it would be a zero-sum game because let's say we get a lump sum. And that's why I don't favor money. I favor righting some of the wrongs. And if there's going to be any kind of monetary compensation. So as of right now, African-American property all over the country total is valued at $156 billion less dollars than white property. Point blank. Even if your house is the same, layout is the same, the square footage is the same, your lot size is the same, you got the same 2-car garage. If you live in a black neighborhood, a majority black neighborhood or zip code or census tract, your house is just worth less money, period. That's where they can start. But again, that would be a mismatch because not all black people own homes. So myself and other homeowners, we could be justly compensated. But if you rent, you would be left out of that. But if the structural and institutional racism and the attitudes of people don't change, the money isn't going to do anything. It will bring us temporary comfort. Money would just get us high. The high wears off. And when the high wears off, you are still left with a system that is institutionally and structurally racist. Black people still don't get the benefit of the doubt. Our stereotypes precede us. There's some people that are interviewing for jobs right now. They do not want to hire black people because they think that we're lazy, or they think that we're going to come to work late, or they think that we're going to come to work late and we're lazy and we smell like weed. A lot of times we do smell like weed. I wish you guys would stop it. Stop it. Don't smoke weed on your way to work. On your way to an interview is even worse. 414-982, I'm just a bill is wild. I played the Schoolhouse Rock because I had to go back to some civics education on y'all. CR Note says, Sherwin, I agree but also disagree about reparations. The government was complicit with the enslavement process. The least the government can do is free education, health care, and no taxes for as long as the institution of enslavement lasted, with proof through ancestry tracing for African Americans. The difficult part, and so that's not far-fetched, because if you can demonstrate the harm and then base the remedy on the specific harm, okay, now we're talking. But we would have to get 60% of the American population that is of European ancestry to agree to give us that. If every single black person in America said yes, and you polled all of the blacks and they said, yes, we want reparations, other people would have to agree in this multiracial, multicultural democracy for us to get the money. We have to convince them. It's easier to convince black folks to get reparations because we're an easy sell. Tell us that we're owed money, we're going to want to collect. The rest of the country has to agree. The rest of the country doesn't even think slavery was even that bad of an institution, or they think it was a long time ago, or they think, well, at least the slaves learned a bunch of useful skills. They're a long way off from agreeing that we need financial compensation due to the harm of the institution. It's not us we got to convince, it's them. And that's not going to be easy. Gene says, Schoolhouse Rock is on Disney Plus. My daughter watches it all the time. Marvin says, good morning, Sherwin and Rhea. Sherwin, I agree with you. Democratic Party is not going to fix poor life choices. Some people just need a life coach. In my opinion, I like the current course we are on. Reparations are a fantasy. And it's only a fantasy because most people don't think it's necessary. And white folks will be quick to tell you, I didn't own slaves. Well, of course you didn't. You couldn't afford us. We were very expensive. We were a luxury item. And there's a lot of things that I believe the United States government was complicit in because the American people wanted the institution. Right? The government can pass laws to ban certain stuff. But other than that, if it is the economic institution of the colonies of this newly formed union of states, so the cotton and cotton is very labor intensive, very much so. So the cotton that was produced in the South was shipped to the Northeast. So think Rhode Island, Boston, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, where they had textile mills and they made clothes with it. So the world was clothed with slave-picked cotton. So it was a part of the economic fiber, pun intended, of the entire nation. It was how this nation became wealthy because you didn't have to pay for a large swath of your labor for hundreds of years. Now, again, I can demonstrate harm from that institution, and I could even figure out a dollar amount, I suppose, because we'd have to demonstrate how we are still harmed today because of that institution. But we, as black people, are not hard to convince. It's white people, like 90% of white people would have to agree that reparations are owed to black people. That is where we're stuck. And the only way they could ever get anywhere close to agreeing is they have to know all of the details of the institution. So when we're trying to talk about it and teach it, and I don't necessarily like the label of critical race theory because that makes people fly off the handle when they hear it. It's a trigger word for them. But if we don't inform people about how the institution damaged and still does damage to this day, no one is going to agree that we get anything. That is why we must start with education. And even then, if we had a full complement of accurate American history, children who are not yet born, when they turn 50, then the case could be made potentially. But then we got to worry about time lapse, because at 50 years from now, slavery would be 50 years further away than it is on today's date. So we're talking year 2073. Then and only then, after we have a couple of generations of the entire public school and private school and charter school curriculum in this nation being accurate and intentional about teaching history and all of the horrors, when it's age appropriate, to children and to young adults, only then will people say, oh, wow, because of all the things that happened during those murderous, torturous, family splitting, raped and pillaged years of the black community and the black culture. Oh, wow. Now I see how those structures have impacted modern day America. Yes, we do owe them something for that. But there's no way that people are going to agree unless they learn about the institution. And right now they are resisting teaching it for that very reason, because white folks would say, yeah, we totally owe them. Oh, yeah. You mean that my great-grandparents were able to buy this house out here and black people were not? And so my great-great-grandparents got a whole bunch of equity and they used that equity to pay off their debt and to pay for all of our college and to start a business and to make more money. And they invested that money that they got because they were able to buy these houses out here and black people weren't. Oh, we have an economic advantage because of that. Oh, black people aren't poor because they're lazy, because an opportunity was stolen from them. Oh, well, we probably owe them then. And it's just that simple. But also, I think people believe that if African Americans are compensated, however we're compensated, they think that they're going to lose something. Or here's the other thing. I really feel sorry for poor white people. Because what would they get? And that's really got to suck if you're poor and white. Because that skin color is supposed to get you opportunity, isn't it? It's whole states of very poor white people. West Virginia, they're poor and addicted to heroin. That's even worse. All right, let's take a break, come back, and talk to a couple of people on the phone. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the new 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Ashley Lucas, VP and Business Lending Product Manager at Associated Bank, and we'll discuss the importance of your small business utilizing cash management services to enhance the effectiveness of your daily operations. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. right here on the new 1017 The Truth. At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you tired of all that clutter piling up at home or your business? Well, the Smith Brothers Junk Removal is here to make your junk disappear. They are a full-service junk removal and demolition company servicing residential and commercial clients. The Smith Brothers will haul away and recycle anything. Just send them a picture and receive an instant quote. And when you mention this ad on 1017 The Truth, you get an extra $50 off. Open 6 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Smith Brothers serve all of southeastern Wisconsin.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see safe for my students.
We see safe for each other.
I see safe because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So let me just tell y'all how powerful y'all are. Somebody must have heard us talking about the Democrats, which the Democrats do for the black people, and the black men threatening to withhold their vote if the Democrats don't do right by them. Well, next week, Wednesday, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Mr. Jamie Harrison himself, is going to tell you what the Democratic Party is going to do for you, black men, because he's a black man. He's the chairman of the Democratic Party. Y'all have questions? The Democratic Party has answers, and I bet the Republicans won't send their chairperson. Did y'all know that the state, so not the national, Jamie Harrison is the national DNC chair. The state Republican Party chair, okay, is named in Trump's he's being indicted. The state of Wisconsin's Republican Party chair is being indicted in Fulton County. Unbelievable. The national Democratic chairman, Jamie Harrison, is going to join me. Make sure I get the right date now. Next Wednesday, 9:25 a.m. I'm sure you'll hear a bunch of promos. Okay. I got some text messages to read at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Then we've got, oh boy. Let's do Derek first. Hello, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Sherwin.
Oh, that's good. What's on your mind, Derek?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. I listened to you, and you're pretty bright.
Stop disguising your voice, Derek, and talk normal.
Okay, I will do that. I'm sorry for this, Sherwin. Anyway, you were talking about reparations. You were talking about white people would have to do what they'd have to do. But my only, like I said, is I just got back from this African American museum they have in Washington, D.C. And I don't know if you've been there, but it's a very good museum. And what it goes into the slave trade. And they mention how it built up the European countries, how it built up this country itself. They said by the Civil War, the value of the slaves is worth more than you probably heard it before, than the banks, the land, the railroads.
That's right, all of it. That's right.
And the land, and people don't realize that. And we're talking about maybe $4 or $5, $6 billion then. And so I mean, but I did notice that at that thing, there was, of course, there was people all around the world. There are a lot of people around the country. We have a black museum here. It's called the Black Cowboy Museum. And it does a lot of education. A lot of people, when they come here, they learn a lot of things too. In fact, there was a white guy came from Italy, and he said, you know something, he just thought blacks were just complainers, gripers, and they don't deserve a dang thing. And they're lucky that they're even living in this country. But anyway, he went through that museum that we have, the one we have here, and he was so impressed. He purchased several books, and he said he was telling us about, we thought we were just complainers, gripers, we're never happy, and he just knows. And then all of a sudden, when he went to the museum, he had a different perspective as far as our contributions and what we had done to this country. And I see the same thing happening with that museum. This, like you mentioned, it had to be a lot of education. A lot of times, a lot of the white people, they do know these kind of things. They told me that. They're the ones who told me about the Tulsa massacre. They're the ones that tell me about the black people didn't even tell me that that were from Oklahoma. They're the ones who told me about Rosewood. The black people in Florida didn't even tell me about Rosewood. Are you still with me, Sherwin?
I am, Derek. You don't really give me a place to interject or interrupt. When you call, it's a monologue. So I let you say your thing, and then we end the call, and I go on to the next.
But what they're saying, and
but no, we agree. Education is a strong component, and you're talking about the museums that you have in the Black Cowboy Museum, and we got the museum in Washington D.C. Absolutely, we need to educate people so they can really understand.
And a lot of times, a lot of the
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to have some dialogue, and then you just overtalk me. So that's why it's always just you talking, and then you say, "Sure, are you still there?" Yes, I'm still here. But Derek, I appreciate your call. I got to grab another one.
Yeah, but hold on, man. Let's go ahead and make some comments on what I said real quick.
Hold on, man. I dictate the comments. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
We need education. You got a museum in the museum, but we need white folks to critically think about how the institution still harms black people today to justify the reparations. That's what we have to arrive at, and we're a long way off from that. And we agree.
Would you want some? One other question. I'll let you get out of here.
You'll let me get out of here? Go ahead. Ask the question, Derek. Ask the question.
The question is, what about land? If these people, they would want to go back south and have 100 acres of land in Georgia or Mississippi or something like that. You've heard some people say that 5 separate states. So would something like that work? Is this too crazy?
Who are we going to get the land from? The land is either owned by local government, state government, federal government, or private ownership. So I guess the federal land could be turned over to black folks, but I don't know if there is enough land to satisfy the requirement, or it would be an either or. You get cash, some kind of direct payment, or you get land instead. I don't know.
What would you do? Land or cash or education?
I get the education myself. Give me the money. Or I don't know. I don't even know if I want money because there's going to be strings attached to it. So I don't know. It might sign you up to be an organ donor before you even die if you agree to get a reparation. They just take a kidney or something. I don't know. But I appreciate your call, Derek. Thank you very much. You see what I deal with? One more before I let you go, Sherwin. No, don't hang on. No.
Yeah, I was about to say this.
What'd you say now? Turn your radio down, Dion.
Oh, no, that's not my radio.
Turn down.
That's not my radio. I have some contractors in the background, and I'm
turn them down.
My house, and yeah. But what I was about to say, Sherwin, so, man, I missed you Saturday, man. God darn it, I came down there. I was like looking for some Sherwin, and I seen Tori, and I seen Miss Liz, and Maya, and Benjamin. I enjoyed the show Benjamin had, and seen Carrie and Corey, and I seen Cherie. I gave her a hug, and I can't remember the other lady name, but yeah, I so missed you, man. I was like, man, I wanted to chop it up and talk a little, shoot the stuff with you, but believe it or not, listen, I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Why are you whispering?
There's a lot of white people. No, because I'm being funny. But there's a lot of white people. Like the other day, right? I'm riding back with one of my white coworkers. I ask white people this one question all the time: have you ever heard of Emmett Till? They ain't never heard of Emmett Till. Believe it or not, there's a lot of white people that don't know our history. They don't know our legacy. They don't know things that happened to us, and I had to explain to him that the reason his family has land, I opened the garage door for you. The reason his family has land because of the Homestead Act of 1846, you understand? So I asked him a question. I said, when emancipation passed and they said that the slaves were free, where do you think these guys went to? Do you think they had cousins in New Mexico and they going down there? No, they had to stay on the plantations. So I feel like we are owed something. We are. It's definitely, it ain't no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. We are the only people here in America that was given nothing, that we had to basically put, and we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. Regardless of all the stereotypes of white folks, I don't care. When I was out here hustling or whatever and doing whatever I did, that was a bootstrap era. The only reason selling cocaine was illegal because the government, the United States government, ain't found a way to tax it. Look how they making marijuana illegal. You understand what I'm saying? So regardless of whatever we did, we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. We was given nothing. So it's a lot of white people out here that really just don't know our history. They don't know our legacy. They don't know anything about us. They just think we just fell out the sky and we just here. And they look at us like we're always playing the victim role and this, that, and the other. Because I be on Twitter. Twitter be going down. Because a couple of weeks ago, I think I sent it to you with Jennifer Gardner made a comment to Regina King about something about does she know where she actually come from. Regina handles it like a lady. But other than that, and then I've been listening to you all week. It's just, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care. I'm tired of it, though. I just feel like I don't know, man. I just don't have no fight in me no more. You get tired. You hear people say the N-word, and we was going off Jigaboo last night. Then every day I'm seeing something like in Flint, Michigan, I think it was Flint, where the young boy was going out to take the garbage out, and the police arrested him, and his father came out like, I'm just sending my son out. The situation that happened in Kenosha, instead of them coming in there talking to the people trying to view the camera, they go in there and handle it. It's just constantly an attack on people that look like me and you, So Voting, I don't know, Sherwin, but I'm still not gonna do it though, you know. But I'm enjoying our
You
conversation.
said all this to end with saying you're not gonna vote. Fair enough, Dion. Don't vote because you probably vote for the wrong person anyway. That's fine. You don't have to vote.
Yeah,
I'll vote for you.
Well, I see Miss Shaq. You ain't in no relationship no more because you heard Miss Shaq kind of wild there, huh?
So Miss Shaq attacked me. I was a victim in that situation, and didn't nobody come rescue me.
You know what? But you know what? All that slack Miss Shaq was talking. So you a professional guy. I would have pulled her up on it like, what's happening? I got a few dollars for a hotel or something. Let's go hang out or something. You dig what I'm saying?
First of all, I would not have paid for that hotel. Miss Shaq would have paid for that hotel.
I ain't gonna lie though. Sometimes you got to spend a little money to get some honey though. You understand what I'm saying?
Not really. But for the record, I'm single. I'm back out on the streets.
Oh man, when we gonna hang out, man? You don't ever. Is it because I'm a felon, man? I used to be a convict, but I'm a really good guy though. If you the same person I am on this airwaves, no, for real though, the same person I am on these airwaves, I'm the same person in public. You seen me? I've been jamming. Me and him was chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? We, cutting loose. You know, I'm just a real down to earth individual. But I want everybody to know I'm made in America. Always remember that.
Always
in America.
All right, we're gonna
always remember that. All right, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta talk to these contractors, man. They might be trying to swindle me.
Okay, don't get swindled, Dion. I hate for that to happen. Man. All right then. Okay. Receiving reparations is not about convincing one another. It's about convincing non-believers. Nothing happens in this country, in this multicultural democracy, until non-believers become believers. Nobody gets the vaccine. COVID doesn't get mitigated until people that don't believe in the vaccine believe in the vaccine. We aren't able to do right when it comes to mitigating carbon emissions, which will slow climate change, until non-climate believers believe that we are responsible for climate change. Reparations will never happen until the people that don't believe we should get it believe we should get it. Okay. So here's I gotta give tickets away. I can't do it now. No, because we got people on the phone. You think I can do? That's up to you, Rhea. No, don't do it now. But just so y'all know, I'm gonna give away a pair of tickets to the Harbor Park Rhythm Jazz and Blues Festival. It's this Saturday at Celebration Park. Who's gonna be there? What's his name? He's a good Norman Brown. Norman Brown is very good. He's a smooth jazz artist. So he's going to be there. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to that. Not yet, though, but soon. So stay tuned. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back in like a minute or something.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in this Friday night as we have a battle of two top programs in the state as the Hilltoppers take on the Arrowhead Warhawks. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Magic Productions, Capital Insurance, and Marquette University High School.
Educators Credit Union is dedicated to celebrating diversity in the cities where they live and work. Because of this dedication, they support black businesses not just during National Black Business Month, but throughout the year. Supporting black businesses boosts local economies, produces jobs, and helps entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. Educators Credit Union will continue sharing the stories of black businesses, building relationship with businesses in local communities, and buying from these businesses. Learn more about their community partnerships at ecu.com.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge. by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
The Age of Reason took place over 200 years ago. It was a time of amazing scientific and philosophical progress all over the world. Truth, reason, and tolerance thrived and even shaped the Constitution of the United States of America, the foundation of our democracy. But now those building blocks of America, of democracy, are under attack. In just 2 decades, big tech social media billionaires have allowed their platforms to roll back truth, facts, and tolerance, and fill the screens in our homes and in our pockets with lies and hate. Online disinformation and hate affect everything, everyone, everywhere. It splits us apart, hurts our children, polarizes our societies, and is literally leading to violence and terror in our communities. Lies and hate everywhere are a threat to all people, anywhere. Be a part of the change. Help defend the future of our democracy. Go to counterhate.com to learn more.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Truth is now the home of Marquette University High School football. We have a big game matchup this week as 2 traditional football powers clash. Tune in Friday night as the Marquette High Hilltoppers take on the Arrowhead Warhawks. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Friday night football night on The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Join us. Is today Wednesday or Tuesday? Today's Wednesday. Join us tonight at Washington Park Wednesdays from 5 until 8 p.m. for summer concerts. It will be a fun night of music, food, and fun. We can't wait to see you there. We can't wait. It's all we're talking about here at 1017 The Truth is seeing you guys tonight at Washington Park Wednesdays. 1017 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by the UW Credit Union. They are here for every you. All right. The Harbor Park Jazz Rhythm and Blues Festival is this Saturday, August 19th, and it'll be a day filled with great food, music, and Grammy Award-winning guitarist Norman Brown will be performing live at 7:30. Because I got so much love for my loyal listeners, I'm going to give away a free pair of tickets right now to attend the Harbor Park Jazz Rhythm and Blues Festival on 1017 The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll take call number 7 right now at 833-212-1017 to win a pair of tickets to enjoy this great festival and see Grammy Award-winning guitarist Norman Brown. So we'll take call number 7 right now. And in the meantime, while you guys are calling, trying to be call number 7 to win some tickets, I'm going to talk to... Hello, Linda.
Hello, sexy professor.
Calm it down, Linda. Put it away. Keep it in your pants. Just chill out.
Am I caller 7?
Not even close. No, you're not even in the contest right now.
Hey. Well,
I mean, you want to hang up and try to be call number 7? You got time.
No, that's okay. I want to say, Sherwin, that Milwaukee, Wisconsin has a gym with Professor Sherwin Hughes because of his vast experience and enormous intelligence and, gifted depth of understanding politics and how this system works and how to relate it to people, even white people. I just love, and I think that's what's so powerful about you. You're able to not only come across to white people unaggressively, but also enlighten them to the era of their own thinking. And that is just amazing because at that moment they are being enlightened. And Dion, that you're there for a purpose. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and that is to educate them where they are. That's what we have to do, because yes, a lot of them are ignorant to the truth, and that's why they want to continue to suppress the truth. But yes, it was amazing to meet my my Sherwin. He's very sexy.
Calm down, Linda.
And yes,
keep it professional. You sexually harassed me, by the way.
I had to wrap my leg around you for that photo shot because, we have to create our moment and our memories of that moment. And that was a memorable moment. To be there, to meet everybody, and to thank all the vendors, even the security guard for coming out for the occasion. It was truly a family-felt event for me. And I appreciate being invited and coming out.
Well, I guess you're welcome, Linda. I guess we'll see you at the next event we do. Okay, you too. Bye-bye. She sexually harassed me. She just admitted it. Like a man can't do to a woman what she did to me. But y'all don't think it's sexual harassment. I felt used, a piece of meat. Rhea, you're the worst one. You think that men can't be sexually harassed. Like, we don't want sexual advancements
I never said that.
all the time. Sometimes we want them. You know what the difference is? It's the same for women. If the person is attractive, it's not sexual harassment. It might be slightly annoying, but it's when the person is unattractive, do we not want their advances? I'm serious. I've been sexually harassed before on a job by a woman named Colleen, Colleen was probably 5'3", 325. She drove a Harley Davidson and had a curly afro. And every time I walked past her, this is when I worked at Ernie Von Schledorn. I worked in the parts department. It was one of my summer jobs. In fact, Ernie Von Schledorn, believe it or not, took care of me every single summer. I always had a job and I made good money. In fact, I took a semester off just so I could work full time so I could just save up more money. Ernie always hired me. And Colleen worked in the parts department. And she'd always talk about what she'd do to me. And I got real fed up one day. Every time I walked past her, I had to like dodge her. Because she would always, if I was within the reach of her arm, she would always grab my butt. Or if I'm reaching for parts, like up on the top shelf, and I'll be on that ladder, and she will come up behind me. Oh, Sherwin, you have no idea what I would do. And that's how she actually talked. It was very frightening. And one day, I just got real fed up. Because as a man, you ain't supposed to say nothing. You know, men don't, and this is in the 90s too. You don't go to HR and talk about being sexually harassed by a woman. It makes you look weak. And so I handled it the best way I knew how. I was very frustrated because I just got sick of it. She made my work environment very uncomfortable. Colleen did. 5'4", 325 pounds with a curly afro riding a Harley Davidson. Sherwin, you want to go out for lunch? No, thank you, Colleen. I don't want to go out for lunch. Well, how about I eat you for lunch? So one day she grabbed my butt, and that was it for me. I just got really frustrated. And I looked at her, I turned around, and I said, Colleen, if you ever grab my butt again, I'm going to break your effing fingers. And I meant it. When I said it, I was looking dead in her face. And I remember she was looking at me and she, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sherwin. And I never had a problem out of her ever again. But I had to threaten this woman with violence. Brittany says, I want to see a picture of you and Miss Shaq from the fest. The video is in the group Hughes Views. And then I think it's posted on my Twitter at Sherwin again, the video of her, because I'm standing there. Maya said to me, hey, Sherwin, is what Maya said to me. She said, Carrie want to talk to you. I said, okay, let me go holler at Carrie. And I went over by where Carrie was, and Carrie was like, sure. And Carrie had her camera rolling, so I should have known something was up when I saw Carrie with her camera in front of her face. She said, oh, Sherwin, somebody wants to meet you. Or somebody wants to see you. I had no idea who it was. And all of a sudden, I turn around and I see Linda just running. Sherwin! And all of a sudden, Sherwin, help me. And she just attacked your boy. Just, if I was a biscuit, she'd have sopped me in some gravy and ate me right there in front of everybody. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
August is Black Business Month, and the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is teaming up with Associated Bank to celebrate the greatness of Black businesses in our community. Together, we are committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. This is why I will be spotlighting 4 Black businesses in Milwaukee. Follow 101.7 The Truth on social media and YouTube so you can hear the incredible stories of these Black businesses. And make sure y'all buy Black all month long. Whatever your financial needs are, Associated Bank can help. Member FDIC.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as 1 business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 101.7 The Truth. Here is Melanie Ricks with her truth.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks from Nothin But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. A thought that I have on my mind today: you have to put out the energy that you want to receive in return. I've noticed recently that I tend to have expectations for others that I don't also have for myself. For example, if I text my friend, I expect them to respond instantly. But if somebody texts me, I'll take my time and respond whenever I'm good and ready to. So why is it that I feel as if others have to get back to me right away if I'm not willing to get back to them? That's just one minor example. But when it comes to work, let's say you're feeling dissatisfied with your job performance or maybe with the atmosphere, what's going on with work. Perhaps so you're hoping for a promotion of some sort and things just aren't going the way that you want. Okay, so what are you doing to fix that? What are you doing to work your way towards a better work situation? What is the energy that you are putting toward your job, toward your coworkers? Even when it comes to family dynamics and other relationships, or perhaps encounters with strangers. What is the energy that you are giving to the people around you? And what is the energy that you expect in return? I sincerely believe in the law of attraction, and I very much do feel that what you put out is what you will receive. So if you are someone who feels as if you are not getting the best out of things in life, perhaps it's because you are not putting your best foot forward and you are not putting the best energy that you can toward those things. The law of attraction is real, y'all. I'm telling you.
Listen to Nothing But The Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 p.m.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
August is Black Business Month, and we're teaming up with Associated Bank to celebrate the excellence of Black-owned businesses. Be sure to follow 1017 The Truth on social media so you can view spotlights on Black businesses, interviews conducted by our very own Carrie Noni talking about the success of local Black businesses, and we encourage you to buy Black all month long. Whatever your financial needs are, Associated Bank can help. Member FDIC. And once again, the Black-owned business Give Back is back. We're giving away $6,000 worth of free commercials to 5 Black businesses this year. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com for official contest rules. Head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. 1017 The Truth, Sherwin Hughes for Axe Housing. I'm tired of y'all paying rent. Now is the time to be a homeowner. You can get started on a virtual home buying orientation by clicking on the truth link at axhousing.org. That's ACTS housing.org. Do not let where you are today financially get in the way of your bright future of being a homeowner. That's axhousing.org. And lastly, if you're a general contractor, Axe would like to work with you because they need to hire 100 additional contractors by the end of the year. That's axhousing.org. All right, let's see what we got here. Al says, what is this? Oh, hell no. Al took a picture of me standing there looking off in the distance, and Miss Shaq is in the photo frame smiling. When was this? This must have been after I was attacked, and I just look, I'm staring off into the distance.
Wait, this is Al, like the Al?
No, not that. This is a different Al.
Which Al?
There's like 7 Als. There's a bunch of Als. I don't know which one this is. This Al is 414235. And I'm just looking away.
I'm really upset about this.
Upset about what?
I didn't get to see Miss Shaq. Miss Shaq, if you can hear me, I was like, oh my God, who's this woman in the white? She looks fabulous. Did not know it was you.
That was her.
Completely said hi.
Did you see her attack me?
No, I didn't, because I think I had left by then. You didn't have to be so weird about it, though.
So, you know what, Rhea? I hope that a man just comes up to you and just hugs you and wraps his leg around you, and then when you react naturally, I'm going to say, don't be weird about it.
She didn't do all that. She came and gave you a normal hug.
Oh, did you see the video? She wrapped her leg around me. I felt the heat. I felt it. It was steamy. I was like, oh, it's warm. Oh, that was.
Don't do her like that.
What? That's a compliment.
That there was heat? What is she, a cat?
No, never mind, Rhea. Mr. Mahdi says, send me that pic, bro. I ain't sending no pics. You've seen Linda before. Brittany says, send that pic to me. I want to see. No. Y'all need to chill. Y'all a bunch of voyeurs. Oh, I want to see a pic. Y'all sound like a bunch of horny dudes. Give me a pic. Let me see a pic. Send the pic. I ain't getting no pic. Jay, you're right. Pimping ain't easy. In fact, pimping is harder than it's ever been. D-Max says, Dion is a real one for that. The Angel's Advocate just sent me a cartoon, black superhero cartoon characters. Not sure the context of that. Jay says, a cat in heat. Former black towns underwater. Tuskegee experiment, Tulsa, hell, even A.O. Smith. They owe us too much. The list is endless. Do you know that there are still survivors of the Tulsa massacre? I don't know how. It was legitimately 100 years ago. It's 2, if not 3 people, and they recently went to court. And a judge threw their case out, but they're appealing. Like, they're looking for restitution for losing their land, their businesses, their homes in Tulsa. There's 2 or 3 survivors. It was just on the news yesterday. They're still trying to sue to get made whole by what they lost in the city of Tulsa. Brittany says, LOL, I'm not horny. Brittany, I should hope not. You have 5 children. Being horny doesn't work out for you so good. Don't be horny, Brittany. You should never. What, Rhea? Clearly, with 5 kids, she's been horny at least 3 of the 5 times.
Nana has 5 kids, not Brittany.
You sure?
I think.
They might both got 5 kids.
Do they both have 5 children?
You put them together,
it's 10 kids.
And the baby daddy, that's like a whole public school classroom.
It's a full football team, I think.
That's a lot of people. I shouldn't say that. They might all have one baby daddy. They might have the same baby daddy. What? Isn't that crazy how 2 women can have 5 kids each, right? So that each woman has 5 kids, but one man can have 10 kids. That's crazy. The math is crazy. Like, if one woman has 5 kids, like, oh my God, she has 5 kids. But if one man got 2 women pregnant and had 5 kids with each of them, he has 10 children.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon is different because he can afford all his kids. He just wants to be fruitful and multiply. And here's the thing. he's not reproducing with unattractive women. Like his children are going to be very beautiful.
I mean, aren't they mostly plastic?
His kids or the women?
The women, not the kids.
I don't know. Maybe.
So
Mariah Carey has had some work done. I don't think she's plastic though. Mariah's pretty.
They're all more plastic than Mariah is.
Some of them.
He's breeding little Kylie Jenners.
Maybe we should not be judgmental of women's appearances, Rhea.
I didn't do all that. I'm just saying there's some plastic in there.
And people, look, I know women in their 30s that are getting Botox, which is disturbing.
Why is that disturbing?
Because they're going to have to get it forever.
No.
You don't stop getting Botox as you get older. And it's not good for you. It's poison. It's botulinum toxin. It's not good for you. They're injecting poison. I talked to my homegirl the other day, asked her if she wanted to kick it. Her face, I got Botox today. I can't get it.
You can get Botox from the dentist. It can't be that bad.
Dentists give Botox?
They're trained in facial muscles, so they can do it.
Well, when you get it, your muscles are numb and they don't work for a long period of time. So you just got to sit there looking shocked for 24 or 48 hours. All right, that's where we got to end the show. Melanie Ricks is up next. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is 1017 Truth Be Told co-host Denise Thomas, and I am Milwaukee. Milwaukee is so important to me because as a transplant who relocated to Milwaukee 20 years ago, there has been so much that has been poured into me, and I have to return that contribution. This station is important for our community because it provides exposure and representation. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Your willingness to share your stories with our community has helped the Tori Lowe Show produce the best hard news and investigative news story in the state of Wisconsin.
So she was bleeding.
Yeah,
nearly mauled to death by the dog.
She did get mauled.
Right. It's just a horrible conclusion to try to come to, especially once you look at your daughter and how scarred she is.
We do this all for you, Milwaukee. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tori Lowe, and I know how much you love listening to me bring all the smoke each and every day from 1 to 4, but now, not only can you hear me bring all the smoke, you can watch me bring all the smoke because the award-winning 1017 The Truth is streaming live. Watch all your favorite shows live.
Yeah, Truth Nation, you heard Tori Lowe right. We are streaming all of our shows live every day. To watch the best radio station with the best on-air hosts in Milwaukee, you have to go to 1017thetruth.com and click the Watch Live link. From there, you'll be able to stream us on YouTube and Twitter and get an inside look on all the fun, like watching me from noon to 1 as I do my daily Fire Freestyle Live. Now you know your girl got them bars, right, Benjamin?
Yeah, Mel, you got them bars, and the truth is must-see TV. So make sure y'all tap in to see my boy Tori Lowe and my girl Melanie Ricks to do their thing live every day by streaming 101.7 The Truth on YouTube and Twitter. We live, baby.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?